Hey guys, Malanteki here. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for clicking on this video, and I hope you find it worthwhile enough to subscribe, like, and share. So today we are talking all things money for international students studying in Australia, either those who are planning to come, especially for the February semester, January semester, or people who are new here just like me, and people who are planning in the future to come here. So today we are talking all things money, so that we kind of have a groove of what it feels like to have money in this country and how to use it wisely, at least for the first time. Let's get right into it. First things first, my personal experience. I used to be given an allowance by my parents, especially the first few months, because I wasn't working, and the reality is it's very difficult to get a job in Australia the first few months, especially because you haven't gotten some things that are required, like the tax file number, some training that you have to do for certain jobs. You also, I don't know, just being new, I don't know, has some sort of disadvantage in people's eyes. And so it may be difficult, but if you are, I don't know, blessed to have at least a bit of money coming from home or from your guardian or from someone you depend on, it's really good, and I think we should all be grateful for that, and I am super grateful. So I'm going to break down how to use $1,500 a month, okay? And I feel like that is at least a minimum amount that you can kind of figure out. I mean, it's very relative. This is just me putting out a number out there so that we can kind of calculate and understand how these things work, okay? So $1,500, you get that every single month, all right? So rent, let's say you're paying rent $250. Some people actually pay rent from most international students who get like accommodation during the first times, they're usually able to pay between $150 to about $250 to about $300. It's again very relative. I'm just using that as a random number, but I think it's something manageable, okay? So let's say you're paying rent $250, okay? So here you pay rent per week, or rather you calculate your rent per week, and so we're talking about $250 per week, right? And then you have to, let's say you pay the rent fortnightly, right? So that means you have 500 and 500, that's 1,000. That means you're left with 500. How do you manage this 500? Okay, first of all, you need to make sure you're able to get transportation. Smart Rider card, those who are in Perth, we use a system called TransPerth, which is basically the buses, trains, and all of that. So the card that you use to pay, it's anything in any other city, right? So you need to calculate, especially the first few weeks of you going to school, because I imagine you don't have work yet, but if you do have work, well, add that as well. But let's say you don't have work, you calculate how much are you using to go to school per week, how many days do you need to be in school, how much does it cost, your trip to go, your trip back. So let's say you start with $30, okay? You put $30 in your Smart Rider. Every time you tap, calculate how much has been deducted, and then take that amount per day, calculate it according to how many days you go to school, and then get your amount, and then I'll calculate into 4 weeks, okay? And mind you, you're not only going to school. I'm sure on the weekend maybe you want to go out somewhere, go see someone, whatever. Calculate all that, something that you might need, and then put it into account. Transportation is allowed because you need to go to school, that's why you're here, you get? And then onto that, put food, okay? From my previous video, I mentioned I used to meal prep. So for me, I'll do my calculations according to how much do I buy groceries for, and calculate that for every single week, because I would meal prep my food on Sunday. Okay, so I'd calculate, okay, how much do I need? Let's say I used to think I'd need like $100, but really with the food I was eating, I didn't need that much. So I started calculating about $50, okay? $50 to some people it may be little, to others a lot, again dependent. So $50. For $50 I would, let's say I make rice, chicken, and maybe some veggies, and buy a few fruits. Just divide that food into 5 days, okay? Because the weekend mostly I'd eat at home or whatever. I don't have to go outside, because I really cut down on eating out, because yeah, we didn't have the facilities for that, okay? So basically, for food is essential. Put that aside. What else do you need? You need to, let's say, pay for, some students come here and decide to buy new devices, okay? For example, a phone, and for a good reason. Most service providers have phone plans that you can pay off your phone for, let's say, 12 months, 24 months, dependent on your company, the company that you're using. So let's say you have to pay for your phone every single month, okay? So let's say you have to pay $100 every single month. That means you have to cut down from that 500, remember? So if you can stay without getting that debt, very important. Because a huge tip is, don't accumulate debt when you don't have work. Don't accumulate debt if you don't have a means to pay. It's better you just stay out of it. Otherwise you will live a life of constantly having to pay out money, and it's not growing, because there's always something that is chipping out of it, okay? So if you're paying for that, calculate that into that amount. Another thing that could probably require you to pay is, if you're a believer, a Christian, pay tithe, of course. So you'd calculate your tithe there. Would, if we say tithe is 10%, that's $50. So basically you're able to survive from basic level, and by basic level I mean you have your basic needs sorted out. So you've paid rent, you've paid for your food, you've paid for your transport. If you have debt, I hope you don't, that. And then what else did I say? I forgot that last one. So basically calculate that and then use it in the 500 as well as possible. You need to be a good steward of what you have, okay? And also, one other thing that I need you to note is that some places the rent and the utilities are two different bills, okay? But I've realized that some people, for electricity, water, internet, whatever, you pay per month rather than per week. So that one you'll have to sort out with your landlord or the person in charge to just know, okay, how much do we roughly usually need for this? So basically that's what you need to do. So all this to say, you have 1,500. Again, I'll just do a summary. 1,500, 500 a week, fortnightly, that means twice a month. You pay rent, that's 1,000 already. This 500, break it down into your needs: transport, food, if you have any debt, and leave it for the utilities as well. Yeah, so I think you can roughly have at least a life. You will not be borrowing people money. You won't be doing this and this and this unless you genuinely have more needs than required. Yeah, I think so, especially because I think for things like insurance, for medical insurance, I know that some universities make sure you sort that out before you come into the country. So at least for that, you know, just make sure you manage your health really well so that you don't get sick. But some things are unfortunate, and for that one I think that will probably require another video. I'm not too sure if I will do that, especially because I'm not very well versed with the medical system in Australia. But I would, if I do get that information, I would definitely put it out there. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. This was just a small breakdown of how much someone can use. Someone did put it on the comment section, so I thought I'd reply to that with a video just breaking down an amount that you can survive with in Australia for the time being. Okay, so the next video I will do is on how to save money. I'll give more tips that even for me I'm exploring, so look forward to that, and I hope you like it. So like, subscribe and share. See you on the next one.